Go for it.
This is Justin, who says, our children are in elementary school, and every Christmas my parents give them money. My parents expect the money to go into a savings account, but the children want to spend at least some of it. Is it wrong not to put it all in the bank?
Let me ask you a question. If you give $100 to CBN and you say, would you please use this for missions in the Philippines? And I say, well, I think we ought to have another camera for the studio, so I'm going to take half of it for the studio camera. What would you think?
You weren't using my money the way I asked.
That's right. So if mom and dad want to build up a fund for the kids so when they get older they'll have something, then you ought to honor their wishes. If, on the other hand, they don't tell you, then, of course, there's discretion. So it depends on what the intent is. But if the donor's intent is to give it for savings for the children's long-run future, then do what they ask for.
And, you know, you could always go to your parents if for some reason you're in a financial bind and the kids, you're not able to give the kids gifts for Christmas or something.
Yeah.
You could always ask them, do you mind if we buy one gift for each child and put the rest in the
Exactly, exactly.
This is Susan, who says, we have some Islamic neighbors from Afghanistan, and we'd like to invite them to a Christmas party we're having for the neighborhood. Would inviting them be offensive to them and their religion?
We got a report from our Islamic expert here who said, depending on what kind of Islam they have, if they're fanatics, don't touch them because they'll be offended. They'll hate everything you do. If, on the other hand, they're kind of like normal people, and they would welcome having the chance to come into your home and share your holiday. Normally, the sharing of various cultural things, I think it's wonderful to go to a Jewish Seder, or if the Muslims are having a festival, you want to go to it and share in it. I mean, hey, that's nice. And I think they like to do the same thing with Christian celebrations. So, but if they're fanatics, you will affront them with everything you do. Your food will be unclean and things you do. And so, you just got to decide who they are. All right.
This is Anita, who says, my aunt firmly believes that God listens to the prayers of children more than those of adults. She says it's because children are so pure and innocent, and is teaching this to my children. Should I try to correct her or just ignore it?
Well, I wouldn't correct her unless you want to correct Jesus. Because Jesus is the one who said, their angels always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven.
Yeah, he did.
And they have pretty clear relationship with the Lord. You know, suffer the little ones to come unto me. And of such is the kingdom of God. I don't need to make a theology that God hears the prayers of little kids more than he does of adults isn't necessarily the case, but your aunt's onto something, so don't quote try to correct her. Go on.
Well, if you'd like to get onto that too, you'd like more information on children praying, check it out. It's on our website. Go to cbn.com and click on the Bring It On extra link. Okay, this is Roxana, who says, I was often sick as a child, in part due to having poor eating habits while growing up. I want to help my children learn to eat healthy from the time they're small. What suggestions would you have to help me do that?
First of all, always have good stuff. Have fresh vegetables. My grandchildren, it's amazing, they just love fresh vegetables because they were trained in. You know, we had our children, we always had whole wheat bread, and the other had those nasty white sandwiches, you know. And finally, my son found his bride-to-be, and she said, you know, my parents used to make me eat whole wheat bread too. So they had a point.
It was a bond.
A bond, compatibility. You didn't need eHarmony to bring them together on brown bread. But don't use sweets for rewards. Don't do that. And you cook and don't sweeten things, don't salt things, and let the natural flavors come through, and you'll be amazed how much they like it and won't want anything else.